Nobody builds 5G like Verizon builds 5G, because we're the engineers who built the most reliable network in America. And the more you do with 5G, the more building it right matters. The more your network matters. The more Verizon engineers going the extra mile matters. It's us pushing us. It's Verizon versus Verizon. 5G built right from America's most reliable network. Most reliable based on rankings from RootMetrics second half 2020 U.S. report of 3 mobile networks. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Baseballers! Welcome back to another episode of Today in Sports Betting, another edition of Today in Sports Betting. Hey, I am your host at DALE007 on Twitter. Or Devin Ellington in real life, in the whole scheme of it. Hey, this is a hoop-ball.com presentation, as you may know, but for our newer listeners, that is where you will find us. That is the presenting motherboard of this whole thing. You go over there, check out the free content. Make sure to get in touch with us if you have any questions, you need information of any sort. Support at hoop-ball.com or team at hoop-ball.com. You can always reach out to me personally if you have any questions with the material. Need help buying a wager pass. It's $9.99 a month, 33 cents a day. We got 10 professionals. I am loading a play into the wager pass as we speak. Brew's already got some basketball plays. I am tailing all of them. He went 5-0 last night, and he's hitting at damn near 60% on the NBA season. I believe he's at 58% post All-Star break, and it's a crazy, crazy, crazy run that he's going on at the moment. Today's show is going to be baseball heavy. I am flying solo, Han Solo Dolo. Don't forget, and there will be a reminder in the middle of the show, but don't forget about the show's sponsors. Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, use promo code HoopBall20. Use it on their phenomenal products. I love the Lawnmower 4.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 actually just arrived at my household. I used it. I love it. I'm going to recommend it for y'all. I think they're about to release all of it into the wild. Built-in LED lights. Perfect. Then mybookie.ag. Got to use mybookie.ag. That's where we place all of our bets here at Hoop Ball. That is where we want you to go to use our promo code. That's where we want you to go to help us grow and to grow your bankroll. Growing your bankroll is important, and that's what we are here to do. Like I mentioned, today's show is going to be baseball heavy. Pardon me as I wet my whistle. We've got a little bit of early baseball. The Giants and the Rangers at 2:45 p.m. here. Central Standard, Central Daylight Savings, whatever it is. Then we have quite a bit of exciting stuff to watch out for as far as prospects with the minor league starting up, as well as Mr. Jared Kalenic getting called up for the Mariners. That's very exciting, in my opinion. I know Blake is excited at Blake Lawatch, our guy, other MLB contributor. He hit on his wager pass play last night. I am just finishing loading this play, so I am sorry if I seem a little distracted. But it's on the Rangers and the Giants. We'll start talking about it. I just got to make sure to get my stuff loaded for y'all. You know? I'm excited for this matchup, actually. There are some angles in this game I'm excited to see play out, to see if I am correct, to see if I know my stuff. So without further ado, let's start digging into these games. All right. First and foremost, Texas and San Francisco. Jordan Lyles, 7.09 ERA. His expected ERA is a little lower. I'll give him that. Logan Webb, righty, 5.34 ERA. Here's the fact of the matter. Texas and San Francisco have some really good hitters throughout their lineup. Texas ranks at the bottom in regards to a ton of different statistical measures as far as allowing teams to hit well on them. There are 312 pitches that the batters for San Fran has seen against Jordan Lyles. They've had some good success. Buster Posey, Evan Longoria specifically. Crawford's had some success, but he's also got the team high 4 strikeouts against Lyles. One thing you'll notice about Lyles, not a lot of walks. He'll usually get more strikeouts than walks. He's only not done that twice this year. But his whip is still high, so tons of hits. I think he gives up, bottom percentile of the league, bottom 10 pitchers in hits per game. He's right up there with Steven Matz, about 8.5. And then the other thing to watch out for are his home runs. He's given up about 2 per 9 innings right now. And that's a lot of runs, a lot of dingers. And there's some guys that can hit some home runs in the San Fran lineup. But I'm not dogging on the Rangers completely. The Rangers are going to have some good looks from guys like Willie Calhoun, Kiner Falefa. Nate Lowe has some, looks he could have that get him on base. Winds blowing 10 miles per hour out, clear 68 degree day. I mean, that just sounds like fun afternoon baseball. 245 MLB Network. And if you hear a lot of craziness in the background, there is currently hail going on and a ridiculous rainstorm. So, welcome to Oklahoma. It'll be 80 degrees in about an hour. Without spoiling too much or too many of my plays, that is where I'm going to go ahead and be on that Texas and San Fran game. 5:35. 5:35. We've got Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. And I just think there's going to be a crap ton of runs scored in this game regardless. In this series, we saw a lot last night. Got Hoffman, the righty. Brubaker on the mound. Brubaker's last couple starts have been a little rough. But, I think he's trying to make it work. Cincinnati's just got some bats that are relentless. The only thing that I'm fearful of on this over is Pittsburgh's offense being really terrible. But 7.5 is just too low of a number for me to not look at, especially with the offense. 8-mile-per-hour wind going out. It's not a lot. It could change throughout the game, obviously. Cincinnati's really, really good at hitting. And Castellanos is just a pure hitter. So with that being said, I see Castellanos feeling the Cincinnati offense. Look, I know Brubaker's good. I'm going to run through just his splits, his stats real quick. I want to see some things. His peripherals look all right from the ones that I checked. But the important thing is, let's see how he does at home. And at home, he has a higher ERA. He started 2 games compared to 4 at home and on the road. 10 innings pitched, 10.1 innings pitched, 10 and a third, 11 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 2 home runs, 2 hit by pitches. Yeah, man, he hits a lot of batters. He's got 8 combined walks on the year, only 1 walk at home though. 11 strikeouts to 1 walk at home. Opponent's average 275, which is higher than the 217 mark. Still pretty low whip all around, 1.14. So generally not a lot of walks for Brubaker. He had 4 in an April 5th start. His first one, he had 3 in his last start. So he had 5 total starts, or 5 total walks in his starts in April, which there were 5 starts in that. And he went his last 3 starts of April without giving up a walk. He's got good strikeout stuff, that's for sure. He can hit 5 strikeouts easily, especially with some bats that swing the way they do for the fences like Cincinnati does. My thing is, he's been really good the first month. I think he might taper off this month.
Breaking up is hard to do, but when it comes to your wireless carrier, you should have left a while ago. You're over the big 3 carriers. You deserve better. Xfinity Mobile. Now you can get unlimited with 5G included for just $30 a month on the nation's fastest, most reliable network. So break free from the big 3 and save with Xfinity Mobile.
Take the savings challenge at xfinitymobile.com/mysavings to see how much you can save when you get Xfinity Mobile and Internet together. Reduced speeds at 20 gigabytes per line. Most reliable based on Root Metrics US report. Results vary, not an endorsement.
For the ones standing guard, for the eagle-eyed, for the knights in shining armor, and for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
He gave up 6 hits his last outing. Yeah, he gave up 7 hits in his last start of April, then 6 hits his last start, 5 hits April 23rd. Before that, he went 3, 4, and 4. So starting to get more contact on him lately. More contact, more balls in play. I wonder, let's pull up, I'm curious, because BABIP has certain aspects of luck to go with it. So I'm going to look and see. I want to see what how Cincinnati does with their BABIP. They're 8th in the league at 297. So BABIP is batting averaged on balls put in play, and essentially balls in play. And Cincinnati over their last game against Pittsburgh last night, they went 448 in regards to BABIP, 312 over their last 3 games. So looking at this, I'm going to look at backing Cincinnati straight up. I like the over. I need Hoffman to do just enough, though. That's the thing. But Pittsburgh just lost Colin Moran. He's like a sneaky source of their big power. Man, I actually kind of hope y'all can hear some of that in the background. That one shook the whole house. We're about to take off like Noah's Ark in this thing. Great floods upon us. All right. Speaking of flooding, I think there will be a flood of offense. I know Brubaker's been great and all, but I think this is a good spot to start fading him. Cincinnati team total right now, 3.5. I'm going to go over that. I really like that. Later on, I might dig into a Nick Castellanos, hit thing. It's going to be a lot of juice. I'm talking like 250 to 300. But like if I just pay that and take it to the face on him getting a hit, knowing he probably will, what's a 15 or 20 spot, Like we know we're going to get our 3 units back, 4 units, whatever it is for you. I'm speaking on 5-unit designation just for clarity purposes. And, we get, like 1.5 units or close to, depending on the big or the wage, we get 2 units back. So the way I look at it, if you can lay that juice, and I'm not a huge proponent of it. I've only recently opened myself up to doing it as a better out of stubbornness. And if you can get yourself a return of 1.5 units, pushing 2, I think it's worth it. I think it is. So if I can take a look at a Nick Castellanos hits prop and see, which right now it's minus 225. Nick Castellanos over 0.5 half hit. That's what they set it at. Yeah, why not? $225 to win 100. That would put $325 in your pocket. So I think I did my math right there. Y'all get the drift. Y'all smell what I'm stepping in. Y'all hear what I'm cooking. Philly, Washington, 6:05 start here. We got a good amount of games on the slate. I am going to move faster on some just because we got the San Fran, Texas game starting early. Actually, here, let me backtrack, talk about the Cubs playing the Cleveland Indians. They're going up against Shane Bieber. All right, here's what I'm going to say. Indians first 5. Bieber in his starts for the Indians and the Indians first 5s, dating all the way back to last year, they were perfect in them. This year, I think they've only lost 1. Shane Bieber had a little regression. Sure, he's human. I'm not a firm believer in the Cubs, and I'm a Cubs fan. I think that's number 21 now for those who are still tracking other than me or who even know what I'm talking about. Alzolay, this kid's got some heat, but control issues for the Cubs. Righty, 4.5 ERA. That's significantly downward spiked because he had a stunning game last time out with, it was like 1 hit, 2 hit ball or something. It was very limiting to what he allowed the offenses to do. Cleveland, their bats are waking up. Their pitching staff is obviously damn good. Sub-3 ERA for Bieber. Could be, should be lower. He's better than that. It's at 6.5 right now. The total is Cubs plus 160 as an underdog, minus 189, 190 in some spots for the Indians. Like I said, first 5 or nothing. And with that, I'm going to conclude my insight on the Cubs-Indians game. because there's not much of it. I'll be honest. Philly, Washington, Chase Anderson, Eric Fetty, Wop. These two guys, boy, oh boy, do they suck against the two teams that are going to be batting today. Juan Soto's back in the lineup. Remember, I got my note cards here from my chest protector, my pocket protector. So I've got do not bet my list currently. Mariners because the overs in Mariners game because they're bullpens. I got the Rockies. I'm not backing them whatsoever. I'm not backing the Nationals, but I will bet their team totals now that Juan Soto's back in the lineup. Look at the instant offense he automatically inflares into that lineup. And I wrote the Washington note a few days ago, last week, early last time. No more national team totals without Juan Soto. I lost like 2 or 3 of them. So yeah, I think I'm ready to move on from that. I think I can utilize this spot in the over in the full game. I'm not looking to chase a team total on either side just yet, but both teams have some significant history within hitting numbers against these two pitchers. Washington, if it was 4, if I could have gotten an even 4, I would have taken the team total just because I would have liked that opportunity of a push. Not that I'm a pessimist, but I like to be a marginalist. I want to make sure I marginalize and diversify my value and with which bets I place. And I want to try to give myself any angle to not lose. So it's not that I think the bet's crap. I just, or that I have less confidence in it. Because if you were going to win a 4 bet, you're going to win it the same way as a 4.5. You're going to have to get 5. So the only thing is it's like taking the insurance in blackjack, it's just kind of like a sure thing, whatever. With that being said, 4.5s in a ton of spots. And I'm not sure if I'm feeling that. If it drops to 4, I don't think it will. But if it drops to 4s, or if you can get a 4, I would highly recommend it just for the simple fact that Chase Anderson, with his near 6 ERA, his peripherals are just as bad. And then he's just Juan Soto singularly can account for 3 runs today. He just crushes Chase Anderson. And I think the bats and juices are going to be flowing today in this ball game. And so I'm just going to go ahead and be taking the over. Say what you want about Fetty Wap's recent starts. He still plays for the Nationals, and they still have a bullpen that is really bad. Philly is starting to show their true colors as a bullpen as well. Just looking through some random stats and whatnot and leaderboards lately, I've been finding some interesting player stats. Not really interesting stats. They're just stats, but there were some guys at the top of the hits leaderboard, and I did a trivia thingy-majig on Twitter. Got some interaction. Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez are 1 and 2 in the majors in hits. Then, at the time, Tommy Edman was 3, Cedric Mullins was 4. Now Cedric Mullins is 4. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa of the Rangers is 4th. Edman tied at 6th with a few guys. I thought it was surprising that Cedric Mullins was 3rd with 43 hits, right behind JD Martinez. And then you got Yuli Gurriel tied with Kalefa at 4th also. Just some interesting guys to keep eyes out on. And then if you want to take a look at some strikeout percentages, Nick Madrigal of the White Sox, he has a 4.5% strikeout percentage. Leads the majors. Ramel Tapia rounds out the top 10. Josh Harrison at 9. Brantley 8. Luis Arraez 7. Adam Frazier 6. Tommy Edman 5th. Whit Merrifield, fourth. Kevin Newman, third from the Pirates. Jeff McNeil of the Mets, second. 3 players are sub 10. Newman, McNeil, Madrigal. Let's see who's bad. Wow. Did you look at that? Bryce Harper, second in the majors, 23.1%. Paul DeJong, number 1. Marcell Ozuna's pretty down there. But I mean, the names that Bryce Harper's surrounded by, that's pretty bad stuff. Michael Conforto and Joey Votto's down there, but like other than that, I mean, you got Jared Walsh from the Angels. JD Martinez is down there. Sure, like you expect some very productive players to be down there because like they're just swinging the bat. But Bryce Harper, 23.1%. A lot of folks hovering around that 20% mark. Only 4 players are at 15.9% or less. Yermin Mercedes, Freddie Freeman, Ozzy Albies, Will Smith, Xander Bogaerts. Good cluster of hitters there. I think 15% is like the sweet spot for your strikeout percentage you want. All right. Kansas City and Detroit. I'm going to transition back into ball games now. Real quickly, over 7.5 in this game. I really like that. Kansas City minus 125. On the road, Royals are now under 500. They've lost 5 in a row. Rough 2 series against the Indians, the White Sox. This could be what they need against the Tigers. A get-right spot. Kansas City with a minus 31 run differential. Detroit, 68. Negative 68. I mean, every measure, Kansas City's obviously the superior. I want to look at what, Detroit's doing with allowing opponent secondary average. Yeah, a 312. Opponent plate appearances. Kansas City's actually 11th in that and limiting those. Detroit, actually 14th. Opponent runs per game. Detroit, 28th in the majors, 5.26 runs per game, 7.3 over their last 3 games. Kansas City allowed 9 their last, allowing 7 over their last 3, allow 5 per. Well. The Royals score not a lot of runs over the last 3. They've scored 1.33 runs. I mean, they ran into the gamut of Cleveland and Chicago pitchers. I mean, they had Lance Lynn, Giolito. I think they went against Savali. So I think Bieber was at the start of that. Yeah, that And the thing is, they put 2 or 3 runs up on Bieber first game of that. So buy low spot here for the Royals. They're minus 125 favorite. They opened as minus 110. And if I'm looking to do something, I'm looking at the over because these teams, allow a lot. But I think Kansas City's offense can definitely erupt here for 6 to 8 runs themselves. They got some lefty killers in Carlos Santana. Hanser Alberto, the defensive infielder, hits better against lefties. Whit Merrifield hits almost 300. You got Dozier with his sneaky lefty power. Nicky Lopez, contact, good opposite field hitter. Going to go with a Royals team total over 7.5. We're getting over 4.5 for the Royals at even money. Going to do that. And then let's see here. Wow, as man, missed out on it. As we were talking about this game, the odds went from minus 125 to minus 140. And I should have locked in that minus 125 because I was wanting to do a trifecta of plays on this game since I'm behind on my Royals pick. So I got 2 Kansas City plays, over 7.5. Kansas City team total over 4.5 at even money. And then there's Oakland, Boston. I got to make a play on these guys too. Boston, no team totals really looking to be set right now from what I see. But JD Martinez, Alex Verdugo, those guys have just been hitting. Winds blowing to right field, 11 miles per hour. Xander Bogaerts hitting 356 against righties. And if we look at Chris Bassett and his BABIP 2.7 or 276, 2.76, that'd be crazy. 85.6% left on base percentage. That's pretty dang good. Just looking at a couple things. Expected ERA slightly higher than his 2.29 at 3.79. XFIB is what's higher than his base FIB number. Man, Chris Bass's got pretty decent peripherals. This Boston offense, however, really good. Ramon Laureano questionable. We'll see if he's going to be in or out. He's a big piece to the lineup. He doesn't hit righties that great. That's the thing. But Oakland struggles against right-handed pitching. We'll see if very limited exposure for Bassett to the Red Sox. Marwin Gonzalez, JD Martinez, 2 guys I was thinking would be a key difference. Do have the most at-bats, the only at-bats, all 14 at-bats combined against Chris Bassett, but they're only hitting 143. 2 RBIs, 2 runs, 1 home run between the 2 of them, 2 hits. Woba and ISO pretty high though. So if we look, now I'd like to see what kind of Woba and ISO Bassett's been giving up. As far as the side, this game is just either which way. But I bet there is something we can look at with hits. Let's look at Bassett's last few starts. Want to see hoop ballers. Let's talk about your balls. Yep, your balls and the area around them. Let's talk about manscaped.com. Go there and use promo code hoopball20, HOOPBALL20. Use the promo code and go check out all the tools they have of trimming the hedges and taking care of your lawn, like the Lawnmower 3.0 with a built-in LED light to help you get into those dark dyed crevices on the inner parts. Also, the Gooch. It is hard to get to the Gooch if you can't see it. So use the LED light with the anti-tugless technology on the razor, full long battery life. Then check out the Weed Whacker. Bring that out of the shed. Use it on your shrubs. Cut down what you need, down to bare minimum if you need to. It's got a nice anti-tugless technology, just like the Lawnmower 3.0. It's also got a lithium battery. And best news of all, these things are waterproof. So that way you can do it in the shower and take care of business in the cleanest way possible. Hoopball20 is the promo code that's going to get you free shipping as well as 20% off. I recommend using it. I recommend getting the complete care kit with your free shipping and your 20% off. Spend a little extra, get a lot more. There's a good care kit there for us gentlemen: face scrub, shampoo, ball treatment, and the area that surrounds our balls. I believe there's even a pair of underwear in there for our balls. So yeah, that's going to conclude the talk about our balls. Now let's talk about bets. MyBookie.ag is where all the hoop ballers take care of their winnings and where we place all of our wagers that we post in our article in the Wager Pass, as well as our free plays and our Discord chats. Yes, MyBookie.ag. Use promo code HOOPBALL, HOOPBALL. Let them know that we sent you. Hell, specifically type in my name. I want them to know. But most importantly, you got to let them know what podcast that is. And it is Today in Sports Betting. You let them know that we sent you, and then we as a family get to grow. And then we get to set you up to reap more benefits. And that is what's important to us, because we are here to help you win money. And that is why we recommend MyBookie. Their slogan is bet, win, get paid. And it's quite simply that easy. Use Bitcoin to get going. That's a high recommendation of VM Center at Vince Miracle, our guy. It's a recommendation of me. It's so easy. Dan Bespris, the Podfather, Aaron Bruschi, the Godfather, they get in there, they get going with Bitcoin, they get their money in and out, and it's easy peasy. Hoopball's the promo code. Use that. Let them know that we sent you. MyBookie.ag. Bet, win, get paid. Now, as a podcast, we have your balls and your bets covered. And without further ado, we have Today in Sports Betting. Let's see how he has been doing in regards to home and away. He's 2-0 on the road, 0-2 at home. More walks, less strikeouts on the road. Higher whip on the road. And versus righties, he's a little bit better. But for his last start, he did go 7 innings against Toronto. 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, no walks. Not looking to force anything in this. I will roll with over the total because of these offenses and what Oakland's been allowing as far as runs. And they recently gave up 9 runs to Toronto, then 10 runs. Came back down in that series against Tampa Bay because, well, Tampa Bay, they don't really have a lot of offense. But I expect this series to get popping off quick. Boston winning 4 of their last 5. Granted, they're coming off series against Detroit and Baltimore. So just look for some bats to get right. Boston 12-6 to the over at home. Boston is the place to go for overs. Fenway. Okay. Over 9. Baltimore, New York Mets. I'm going to be real brief here. I'm going Baltimore plus 130 because the Mets are terrible against lefties. And John Means is on the mound. John put some respect on my names. Means. This guy is filthy right now. You know what? Honestly, let me back all that up. Let me walk that all back. He's coming off a no-hitter. No. He's coming off a no-hitter. We're going to go ahead and stay off of this. No, sorry. I about got us all into some big trouble there. I'm so glad I caught that. Always fade people coming off no-hitters. That's what I do. So that's something to watch in this one. Interesting matchup, though. Marco Stroman. Other than that, no opinion. Like, I have no opinion on that. That was the only reason I had an opinion because John Means was pitching, but I just re-realized that he's coming off that no-no. So that makes that a no-no for tonight. New York, Tampa Bay, Joy Montgomery, the lefty. I was dogging on him, but just like John Means, he's starting to do really well, and his peripherals are confusing me. Tampa Bay's offense, I do not trust. Their matchups are always weird. They're rolling this Patino guy out. He's an opener, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to touch this game. It's a weird divisional game. Yankees, Rays, no thank you. Punt. I'm going to get my punt games out of the way, and we can be a little more concise with the rest of the lineup here. Lamet making his debut, if I remember right. I don't think he's got, Danielson, Lamet making his season debut against the Rockies in Colorado, even though Colorado's offense is terrible and the unders have been hitting at a high rate at Colorado's home stadium. I don't know if there's an automatic, overs have been hitting recently in Colorado because now it's 7-8-1. It was significantly a bigger gap recently when I looked. Padres 11-5 to the over. 9's the number. Senzanzella on the mound for Colorado. Interested to see what his home splits are. If his home splits, TBD. TBD on this one. 740. Yeah, we can let's put a pin on that one. Punt, St. Louis, Milwaukee. 2 wild card of pitchers. I'm good on that. I'll just be clear and up front. Miami, Arizona. Pablo Lopez, Mad Bum. I mean, I don't know. He's still looking all right, I guess. Over 8 has even money juice. Plus 105 for Miami. Look, I'm going to be straight up. I have not had luck with picks on the Marlins. I've not really had luck with picks on Arizona. So the play I want to make here, this is a great series. I was excited for these two teams to match up. And I would love to offer a play in this one. I don't have any team totals set right now for it. Lineups probably aren't going to be out for a little while. Miguel Rojas, the only shining spot for the Marlins against lefties. I would like to back Arizona at home here. But the Diamondbacks are 3-7 in their last 10. They do have a winning record at home. Marlins do struggle on the road. Look and see where Miami's at. Runs per game. 21st in the majors. Over their last 3, 1.67 runs. 2 in their last game. And they actually score more runs on the road than they do at home. They scored 3.94 runs at home, 4.18 at outside of. I just don't. In Arizona, they're a capable offense. Their pitching's terrible, sure. Their bullpen's a little bad, but recently, let's see. I just want to see opponent. Let's see if they're striking folks out more lately. Arizona, that is. I mean, they've been getting some good stuff from their pitchers. Yeah, so their strikeout rate's a little higher recently. It's lower on the road than it is at home. Like them striking opponents out. Let's see what they've been doing for BABIP. Their opponent's BABIP. So yeah, they've actually been lower than their season number of 297 on opponent BABIP. Over their last 3, they're at 258. And they actually cut their opponent's BABIP down on the road by a lot. At home, they're at 340. On the road, they're 272. So I think there might be a play here on Arizona. And if they set Miami's team total high, then I think there could be some value on Arizona here. They're averaging 5 runs allowed on the road. But over their last 3, they're averaging 3.33 runs allowed. So Arizona may be trending up here, especially with that BABIP looking the way it is. Excuse me. Los Angeles and Houston, Ohtani on the mound, Lance McCullers. Houston heavy favorite of -150. I can't bet these Ohtani games. I know it's so cheesy and choosy and whatever of me, but this is a punt for me. This is why I left it off my card. If anything, I would look at Astros having some success, maybe some player hits, totals, props. But for me, it's just, I don't want to say it's gimmicky because it is so impressive and he's doing things that no one has ever done, even Babe Ruth. But for betting and like trying to handicap it is gimmicky. It's hard. It's hard to handicap a gimmick. Gimmick's the total wrong word to use, so I say that very lightly. Like I said, what he's doing is phenomenal. As a baseball player, it's not a gimmick. Handicapping, it is something. Minnesota and Chicago, over 8. Kenta Maeda, Dylan deceased. I don't know. I got to stop calling him that because he's actually been pitching really well. His last start, too. Minnesota lost 3 in a row to Texas. They lost, 1 of 2 against Detroit recently. White Sox coming off good series against Cincinnati and Kansas City. White Sox really good at home overall. Twins on the road, the overs hit a lot more. Look, I'm just looking for offense in this one. It's plain and simple. The bats that needed to step up after Luis Robert went down you're getting guys like Nick Madrigal, Danny Mendick, Andrew Vaughn. Yermin Mercedes is just still crushing. Tim Anderson's a stud. So, I can probably be real brief on that one. I like the Bats' chance to be loud and awakened. Got some sneaky value spots in tonight's card. Seattle and Los Angeles will be the last game. The Dodgers going up against Kikuchi, the lefty. Walker Buehler, Bueller. Look, the Dodgers are minus 255 favorites. They just got their asses kicked against the Angels. I don't know what's going to happen against this heavy underdog of Seattle. Seattle's movement's gone from plus 228 down to plus 205, over under 7.5. I think I'm on a shit ton of overs tonight. Pardon my French, but I just realized it. But it's just like everything I'm looking at, it just feels like overs. I don't know. I mean, the Dodgers lineup alone like could hit this number by themselves if Seattle's bullpen just stops being what they're being. Speaking of opponent runs per game, Seattle, I mean, they're 20th in the league. They're allowing less than their average, and on the road they allow a bit more. So I might look at over 7.5 in this one. Too bad Pollock's questionable. If he's in, he's a lefty killer. Seager, good against lefties. Chris Taylor. I don't know. This Dodgers team is just really hard to trust right now. How about I leave the total play off of it? Like, I'm going to be anticlimactic again, leave it on that kind of note, but I just don't have anything for it. So, do have some good stuff within that MLB card. I think you've got to be able to find something in there for you. And if you have questions, feel free to always reach out to me. Real quickly, I'm going to briefly touch on the NBA because I did something stupid last night and I played on every underdog and only one underdog lost ATS last night, if I recall correctly. I just felt like it was going to be an underdog night, and it was. Washington covered the +8 against Atlanta. Cleveland covered +9.5. New Orleans covered +9.5. San Antonio covered +7. Golden State covered +2. Houston covered +14. No, every single underdog covered last night. Every single one of them. I don't think that's going to be the trend tonight. I think we're going to see a lot more teams lock in. Real quickly, I'm looking at over 217.5 Denver Charlotte. I just, I feel some buckets being scored in there. That lineup for Charlotte having LaMelo back is huge. Over 232.5 Brooklyn, Chicago. Zach LaVine. This is going to be a shootout with KD, Kyrie. Not a lot of defense. Like I said, brief opinions. I'll be looking at some player props that Riley and Keith put out in the Wager Pass for us here at Hoopball. Those are my guys. They're our guys. They could be your guys if you sign up for a Wager Pass. Like I said, go check us out. You got to give us a whirl. Remember the promo codes that I read in that nice little diddly? Remember to leave us those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. There is a link you can go straight to within each episode in the description down below. Please do that. Send us screenshots of your 5-star reviews. We'll give you a chance to win some cash. Win some straight cash. Straight cash, man. No strings attached. Please also follow me and my in cohorts. Of course, my name, again, at Devin Ellington. Or I'm sorry, that's my real life name. Devin Ellington. That's me. I'm a person. In real life, and then on Twitter, at DALE007. Yep, like James Bond. Like to say I'm a sharpshooter with my picks. Getting there. Trying to round into some good baseball form. Just loaded a Wager Pass play. At the top of the show, went through some stuff I like today. Think we're going to be pretty high on some teams like the Reds. I need to put some DFS lineups together. When I do my DFS stuff, that helps me uncover a lot of value in regards to player props and such. So keep an eye out for that stuff. If you have questions on a player prop you think you might like, please do follow and send me a message. DMs are open. Slide on in. again, a hoop-ball.com presentation we are here. Go over to the website, get your fantasy basketball news to chase down your championship. Keep an eye out on all of our work to come. Make sure to get familiar with our folks' Tally site. Go to @TallySite on Twitter. Look at what they got. They got some phenomenal graphics. They put out some plays from some phenomenal analysts. And there are some masterminds that are popping out of that affiliate program. Keep your eyes out on us. We'll keep our ears on you. Vice versa. Remember, as always, I am sending you all of my good vibes and all of my good energies. Make sure to do something safe out there today. Be something kind. Make sure to help out in any which way you can. Hopefully, I help your pockets out. That's what the goal is. So until the next one, we'll make sure to be in touch. Hopefully you're back here along with us. With that, Hoop All presentation of Today in Sports Betting is out.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.